Agha Muhammad Yahya Khan was born on the 4th of February in the year 1917 in Shakwal, a town that was then a part of British India. His father was an officer in the Indian Army, and this military background played a significant role in shaping the early ambitions of the young Yahya. From his childhood, he grew up in a household where discipline, loyalty, and service to the crown were emphasized. His family belonged to the Pathan ethnic community, which was traditionally associated with martial qualities and courage. This upbringing gave Yahya a sense of confidence, pride, and ambition to carve out his own identity through military service. He received his early schooling in Nowshera and Lahore, where he quickly showed signs of being bright but also restless. His teachers described him as intelligent but often distracted, someone who preferred physical activity and games over long hours of study. Despite this, his academic abilities carried him forward. In pursuit of higher education, Yahya Khan was admitted to the prestigious Punjab University in Lahore, where he studied for a short while before deciding to dedicate himself fully to the military. He was selected to join the Indian Military Academy at Dehradun, an institution known for grooming the finest officers of the subcontinent. It was here that Yahya trained rigorously, excelling in physical endurance, tactical studies, and military leadership. He graduated in 1938 as a young officer and was commissioned into the British Indian Army. His journey as a soldier began at a turbulent time, with the Second World War casting its shadow across the globe. Yahya saw active service during the war and fought in campaigns in Iraq, Iran, and North Africa. These experiences hardened him, exposed him to the violence of global conflict, and instilled in him the belief that military might was the ultimate source of authority. When the partition of the subcontinent took place in 1947, Yahya opted to join the newly created Pakistan Army, bringing with him both experience and ambition. The rise of Yahya Khan to the pinnacle of power was tied directly to the turbulent politics of Pakistan. After years of service, he gained promotions and recognition for his efficiency and organizational skills. By the mid-1960s, he had established himself as a dependable officer and was appointed the Chief of General Staff, a position that placed him close to the core of military decision-making. In 1966, he rose further and was made the Commander-in-Chief of the Pakistan Army, succeeding General Muhammad Musa. This put Yahya in command of the most powerful institution in the country at a time when Pakistan was already under military rule. In March 1969, the then President Ayub Khan faced widespread protests, political chaos, and public unrest. The country was on the brink of civil disorder, with opposition movements gaining momentum. Under pressure and realizing that he could not contain the crisis, Ayub Khan resigned. He handed over power to Yahya Khan as the commander-in-chief, hoping that the military could restore order. Thus, Yahya Khan became the president of Pakistan, seizing absolute control of the state. As ruler, Yahya initially presented himself as a stabilizer. He imposed martial law, dissolved the National Assembly, and promised to hold free elections to bring representative governance back to Pakistan. For a brief moment, the people had hope. But the reality of Yahya Khan's rule was soon revealed to be far darker. His leadership style was marked by arrogance, indecision, and heavy reliance on military coercion rather than genuine dialogue. The darker legacy of Yahya Khan rests heavily on his bad deeds. His most infamous decision was the handling of the political crisis that followed Pakistan's first general elections in 1970. Under his supervision, the elections were conducted fairly, and the Awami League, led by Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, won an outright majority. This meant that East Pakistan, with its larger population, was set to dominate the government. But Yahya Khan and the ruling elite in West Pakistan were unwilling to hand over power to the Awami League. Instead of respecting the electoral mandate, Yahya postponed the opening of the National Assembly, sparking anger and protests in East Pakistan. His response was brutal. On the night of March 25, 1971, Yahya Khan launched Operation Searchlight, a military crackdown on Dhaka and other parts of East Pakistan. The operation was executed with extreme violence, targeting students, political activists, and the civilian population. Reports of widespread massacres, mass killings, rapes, and destruction spread across the region. Entire villages were burned, and thousands of people were slaughtered. The brutality shocked the world and turned the Bengali population against the central government irreversibly. What Yahya had intended as a show of force to suppress dissent became the beginning of a full-scale civil war. As resistance grew in East Pakistan, millions of refugees fled into neighboring India. International condemnation mounted. Eventually, in December 1971, India intervened militarily, siding with the Bengali resistance. The war that followed was swift and decisive. In just 13 days, Pakistani forces in East Pakistan surrendered. The result was the birth of a new nation, Bangladesh, while Pakistan suffered one of its greatest national humiliations. This defeat shattered Pakistan politically, militarily, and emotionally. The loss of East Pakistan was directly tied to the decisions of Yahya Khan. His failure to manage the political crisis, his reliance on military suppression, and his underestimation of Indian resolve made him responsible for one of the darkest chapters in Pakistan's history. In addition to the Bangladesh crisis, Yahya Khan's personal conduct further stained his reputation. He was known for indulgence in alcohol and luxury, a lifestyle that contrasted with the struggles of ordinary citizens. Many accounts from those who served near him describe nights of drinking and negligence at times when the nation needed leadership. His arrogance alienated politicians, intellectuals, and even his military peers. Despite the many failures, there were certain administrative decisions under Yahya Khan that can be counted among his good deeds. Most notably, he implemented Pakistan's first general elections, something his predecessor Ayub Khan had resisted. Although the aftermath of those elections was catastrophic, the process itself was the most transparent and democratic exercise Pakistan had seen until then. He also introduced reforms in the structure of governance by abolishing the one-unit system, which had merged West Pakistan's provinces into a single administrative entity. By restoring provincial status, he addressed long-standing grievances of smaller provinces. His government also introduced the Legal Framework Order, which laid the groundwork for constitutional development, even though it was later overshadowed by the crisis in East Pakistan. Furthermore, Yahya Khan attempted to strengthen Pakistan's foreign relations during his rule. He played a significant role in facilitating the opening of diplomatic relations between the United States and China, acting as a channel between Richard Nixon and Mao Zedong. This move later proved to be historically important in global politics, though for Pakistan itself, it was not enough to overshadow the internal disasters of his era. The downfall of Yahya Khan was as dramatic as his rise. After the crushing defeat of 1971 and the loss of East Pakistan, public anger reached its peak. The military establishment itself lost confidence in him. On December 20, 1971, he was forced to resign and hand over power to Zulfikar Ali Bhutto. His removal marked the end of his political and military dominance. In the aftermath, Yahya lived in disgrace. He was kept under house arrest for several years, blamed by the people and by history for the dismemberment of Pakistan. Yahya Khan lived a quiet and isolated life in his final years. His health deteriorated, and he faded into obscurity. On August 10, 1980, he died in Rawalpindi at the age of 63. His death did not bring closure to the wounds he had left behind. For many, Yahya Khan remained the man who presided over the darkest tragedy of Pakistan, the ruler under whom the nation was divided and humiliated. His name became synonymous with failure, arrogance, and brutality. Yet history also records him as a man who, despite some attempts at reform, allowed his ambitions, misjudgments, and indulgences to destroy the unity of his country. His life is remembered as a cautionary tale of how unchecked power, arrogance, and poor judgment can ruin a nation and bring about consequences that last for generations.